Lakers. Among the many reasons this team is struggling this year, the lack of shooters to help out LeBron. Well, in a recent story by Ramona Shelburne, she reports that last offseason, LeBron spoke with Magic Johnson and asked to be surrounded by playmakers, guys known for their toughness. As a result, their shooting has suffered. They're the second worst three-point shooting team in the NBA this season. Nick, did the Lakers give LeBron a little too much control?
So this is a really interesting story because Ramona Shelburne is as good as it gets and as plugged in as it gets and has been in L.A. for some time now. So she has relationships with that organization that predate LeBron getting there. So it's a well-sourced report. But it also, and Chris Broussard said something similarly, that went against what I had been hearing, which was that unequivocally LeBron did not give a list of names to Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. So I was trying to square this circle and figure out, all right, so what's right, what's wrong here? So I had got a very interesting text exchange yesterday with a Western Conference executive who I've never talked to before. It's our first time ever talking elongated like this. And it was actually about Luke Walton. But then I started probing on this. And what he described as his understanding makes both of these reports make sense. Magic did ask LeBron the types of players he wanted. LeBron did prioritize playmakers over shooters. LeBron didn't give him a list of names. And then Magic and Rob Pelinka presented LeBron with, here are the guys we think we can get on one-year deals that fit with the cap. Do you sign off on them? So it was more cumulative than I had been led to believe, but it wasn't LeBron presenting the names. So here's the issue with all of it. One, if you are going to go with playmakers, you need good basketball players. You need guys that aren't just a playmaker in name only. You need guys that are more productive than Lance, than JaVale McGee's not a playmaker, than Michael Beasley, those guys. Rondo's been hit or miss. And the other is a totally fair criticism of LeBron, and this was the point the executive made to me, is he's never been a great evaluator of other guys' talent. It's never been one of the things he's been good at. He's been good at knowing who he thinks he would like to play with. But whether it's guys coming out of school or whether it's guys in the league, evaluating other guys that aren't star players has never been one of LeBron's strengths. And this is a part where the Lakers, before the year, it would appear, put a ceiling on what they could be. Now, it shouldn't be this bad, obviously, because the offense was never going to be as good as it should have been because they never had adequate shooting.
So the question is, did the Lakers give LeBron too much control? Is it considered too much control if, like Nick said, you're even handed a list of players maybe you didn't come up with and asked, hey, do you want these guys on the team? Is that too much control? Should a player be able to dictate who he wants or if he wants those players?
Well, these are the things that happen when you're trying to formulate a basketball team. These things have happened for years. It's not new. Let's just, because it's LeBron James, it will be heightened. But, of course, when LeBron makes that decision to go to the Los Angeles Lakers, and because you really respect, and people in the NBA, they respect LeBron's basketball IQ. But his inability to potentially know talent. But who in the NBA does know the talent? Of all the top 10 players, do we think any of these guys, if they're given the opportunity, they would be able to pick? No, they shouldn't be able to. All right, that's a skill set that is developed over a long course of time. And most of the time, you only get good at that when you're removed from the game and your skill level is not part of the evaluation. So LeBron, I wouldn't be surprised that him or any other players, they wouldn't be really good as far as evaluating the players around him. I thought that LeBron really missed it, the style that's been successful for him, and that's him with a bunch of shooters around him. And that's why I believe that if LeBron can get some simulation of what he had in Miami, where Pat Riley, he wasn't coming to LeBron asking him, till they had earned some type of respect through playing together and seeing what the team needed. And it most of the time was shooters around LeBron. So for me, when you don't have that strong guy picking the players, and I really don't have any faith in the Lakers front office being real good as far as talent evaluators and talent developers.
That's the other part of it, is I think it's clear that the best method for a LeBron James-led team to be successful on the offensive end is obviously LeBron plus shooters. But what would this have looked like if you got this style of player, but just better players. What would it have looked like if Lance and Rondo weren't your major offseason acquisitions? Because the other weakness of relying on a player to help you pick the players or to sign off on guys, where's Rajon Rondo spent the vast majority of his career? The Eastern Conference, right? Where at least the best part of his career.
Yeah, those are the guys you're more familiar with.
Lance Stevenson, the Eastern Conference. Beasley played with LeBron in Miami, and he's bounced around and played in China. JaVale is one of their offseason acquisitions, but JaVale was a minimum contract guy. Like, there's only so many centers you can go get. Like, you're going to be guys you've played against, guys you've known. They played against Rondo in the playoffs, played against Lance in the playoffs, played with Michael Beasley before.
But you also have to realize, too, this was not a great list. It wasn't like they passed over a bunch of good players that qualify as, we need guys that we think can be playmakers. We need guys that LeBron might be familiar with. And we need guys that will sign a one-year deal.
That is the other element of this that I think Brian Windhorst has talked a lot about, and I think it shouldn't be an underrated it's been an underrated storyline, which is when things start to go sideways, when it's not just the young guys who are on the trade block, it's the guys who are on expiring deals saying,
yes,
I have no future here.
Right.
Why do I need to buy into the coach? So Steven Jackson went on the herd and talked about Beasley.
But how many people on this Lakers team besides LeBron has an actual future on the team?
Well, that is one of the reasons everyone can let go of the rope. And I think they had to keep the flexibility. They had to try to get Kawhi. You had to go with the one-year deal route, but this was one of the weaknesses of not getting Paul George 2 years ago, not being able to trade for Kawhi, not getting Anthony Davis within the season, is those guys have no vested interest in the team.
Right.
Like, Rondo is looking for his next deal. Lance is looking for his next deal. They both know they're not going to be on the team down the road.
They were banking on getting at least 1 or 2 playoff series and people seeing, wow, these guys can still play.
So let's keep them there.
Yes.
All right, got to take a break. Coming up, could the latest news on Kyler Murray hurt his NFL future? Wait till you hear what one executive seems to think. We discuss next.